Welcome back, coin collectors. Imagine finding a 1973 D Lincoln cent in your collection and realizing it's worth far more than just one cent. Could you be holding a rare and valuable variety today? We're diving deep into the history, design, minting errors, and value of the 1973 D Lincoln penny. Stick around, because you won't want to miss this. The history of the 1973 D Lincoln cent. The Lincoln Memorial Cent was introduced in 1959, replacing the previous wheat cent design that had been in circulation since 1909. This change marked the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and it became an iconic coin that circulated for decades. By the early 1970s, there was a growing debate over the use of copper in pennies. Rising metal prices meant the cost of producing pennies was getting close to or even higher than their face value. The mint even experimented with aluminum cents in 1974, but those never entered circulation. That means the 1973 D Lincoln cent was one of the last full copper pennies before major changes came to the design and composition of the U.S. penny. That alone makes it an interesting year for collectors. Design of the 1973 D Lincoln cent. Obverse front side. The obverse of the 1973 D penny features the classic right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909. The words "In God We Trust" are inscribed along the top. The word "Liberty" is placed to the left of Lincoln. The date 1973 appears to the right, with a small D mint mark below it, indicating it was minted in Denver. Reverse backside. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo in 1959. The words "United States of America" curve along the top. The Latin phrase "e pluribus unum," meaning "out of many, one," is inscribed just below. The denomination 1 cent is written at the bottom. If you look closely, you can even see a tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, a small detail that many collectors love. How rare is the 1973 D Lincoln cent? The Denver Mint produced a staggering 3,549,576,588 pennies in 1973. Yes, that's over 3.5 billion coins. That means most 1973 D pennies are common, but there are still ways to find valuable ones. Even though this coin isn't rare in itself, collectors hunt for high-grade versions and minting errors, which can significantly increase its value. Valuable errors on the 1973 D Lincoln cent. 1 1973 D doubled die obverse DDO. A doubled die obverse DDO error happens when the design is accidentally struck twice, causing a noticeable doubling effect. On the 1973 D penny, this can appear in the words "Liberty" or "In God We Trust." White heavy check mark. How to identify it? Look for clear doubling in the letters, especially in Liberty and the date. A strong DDO can sell for 100 to 500 plus, depending on condition. 2 1973 D off-center strike. If the blank planchet wasn't properly aligned in the press, part of the design may be missing. 5 to 10% off-center errors are worth 10 to 50. 50% or more off-center errors where the full date is still visible can be worth 100 to 500 plus. 3 1973 D clipped planchet. Sometimes, the metal sheet used to make pennies is misaligned, causing a portion of the coin to be clipped off. These errors can be worth 20 to 100, depending on size and condition. 4 1973 D die cracks and B errors. Over time, dies wear down, leading to die cracks or the famous B error, where a small die break forms between the B and E in Liberty. Minor die cracks are worth a few dollars, but significant ones can fetch 50 or more. How much is a 1973D Lincoln cent worth? Most 1973D pennies found in circulation are worth only face value 1 cent. However, if yours is in high mint state condition or has an error, it could be worth far more. Typical 1973D penny values. Circulated condition common, 1 to 5 cents. Uncirculated MS60 MS64, 1 to 5. MS65 plus high grade, 10 to 25. MS67 plus top condition, 250 plus. Rare error coin values. Doubled die obverse, 100 to 500 plus. Off-center strike, 50 to 500 plus. Clipped planchette, 20 to 100. B error, 10 to 50. The highest price ever recorded for a 1973D penny was over $3,000 for a near-perfect MS67 plus red specimen. How to check if your 1973D penny is valuable. Heavy check mark. Check the color. Bright red uncirculated pennies are worth more than dull brown ones. Heavy check mark. Look for errors, doubled die, off-center strikes, and clipped planchettes add value. Heavy check mark. Weigh your coin. A normal 1973D penny should weigh 3.11 grams. If yours is heavier or lighter, it could be an error. Heavy check mark. Check the condition. The fewer scratches and marks, the better the value. Final thoughts? While the 1973D Lincoln penny is common, rare high-grade examples and error varieties can be worth serious money. So, before tossing your old pennies aside, take a closer look. You might have a hidden treasure. Do you have a 1973D Lincoln cent? Have you ever come across a 1973D Jefferson nickel in your change and wondered if it could be worth more than just 5 cents? Well, you might be in for a surprise. Today, we're diving deep into the design, history, minting errors, and value of this classic US coin. Stick around until the end, because you won't want to miss this. The history of the 1973D Jefferson nickel. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, this coin has remained a staple in American currency for decades. By 1973, the U.S. Mint was producing billions of nickels each year, with the Denver Mint striking over 256 million of them. While most of these coins were used in everyday transactions, some rare varieties and high-grade examples can be surprisingly valuable. This coin also came out just before the Mint switched to a new reverse design in 2004, making it one of the last classic Jefferson nickels before major changes arrived. Design of the 1973D Jefferson nickel. Obverse front side. The obverse of the 1973D nickel features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, designed by Felix Schlag in 1938. The motto "In God We Trust" appears to the left of Jefferson. The word liberty is inscribed to the right, along with the date 1973. Below the date, you'll find a small D mint mark, indicating it was minted in Denver. Reverse backside. The reverse showcases Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia estate. The top reads E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. Below Monticello, the words 5 cents and United States of America are inscribed. This classic design remained unchanged from 1938 to 2003, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. How rare is the 1973D Jefferson nickel? The Denver Mint produced 256,535,000 nickels in 1973. While that may seem like a huge number, finding well-preserved, high-grade examples today is not easy. Most circulated 1973D nickels are only worth face value, but mint condition, full step varieties, and error coins can be valuable. Valuable errors on the 1973D Jefferson nickel. 1 1973D full steps nickel. A full steps FS Jefferson nickel is one where Monticello's steps are completely struck and fully visible. These are extremely rare because most nickels from this period were poorly struck. If you find a full steps FS 1973D nickel, it could be worth 500 to over 1000, depending on the grade. 2 1973D double die obverse DDO. A double die obverse DDO error happens when the coin's design is accidentally struck twice, causing a noticeable doubling effect. White heavy check mark. Look for doubling in Liberty. In God We Trust. Jefferson SI or hair details. Strong DDO varieties can sell for 100 to 500 plus. 3 1973D off-center strike. An off-center error occurs when the blank planchette isn't properly aligned in the press. 5 to 10% off-center errors, worth 20 to 50. 50% or more off-center errors with full date visible, worth 100 to 500 plus. 4 1973D clipped planchette. A clipped planchette error happens when the blank metal disc is cut incorrectly, leaving part of the coin missing. Small clips are worth 10 to 30. Large, dramatic clips can sell for 100 plus. 5 1973D die cracks and cuds. Over time, the coin dies wear down, causing die cracks or cuds, raised areas where metal filled a damaged part of the die. Minor die cracks, worth a few dollars. Large cuds or dramatic cracks, worth 50 plus. How much is a 1973D Jefferson nickel worth? Most 1973D nickels found in circulation are worth 5 cents, but high-grade or error examples can be valuable. Typical 1973D nickel values. Circulated common condition, 5 to 10 cents. Uncirculated MS60 MS64, 1 to 5. MS65 MS66 high grade, 10 to 50. MS67 plus top condition, 500 to 1,000 plus. Rare error coin values. Full steps FS nickel, 500 to 1,500 plus. Double die obverse DDO, 100 to 500 plus. Off-center strike, 50 to 500 plus. Clipped planchette, 20 to 100. Die cracks cuds, 10 to 100 plus. The highest price ever recorded for a 1973D Jefferson nickel was over 1,500 for a full steps MS67 specimen. How to check if your 1973D nickel is valuable. Heavy check mark. Check the steps on Monticello. If they're fully struck, you may have a valuable full steps nickel. Heavy check mark. Look for errors, doubling, off-center strikes, and clipped planchettes add value. Heavy check mark. Check the condition. The fewer scratches and marks, the better the value. Heavy check mark. Weigh your coin. A normal 1973D nickel should weigh 5.00 grams. If yours is heavier or lighter, it could be an error. Final thoughts? While the 1973D Jefferson nickel is common, rare high-grade examples and error varieties can be worth serious money. So, before you spend that old nickel, take a closer look. You might have a hidden treasure. Do you have a 1973D Jefferson nickel? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more insights on valuable coins. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting.